Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am Mercedes and this is the Frugal Life with Mercedes. On today's episode of What to Eat When Money is Tight, we are going to make a lentil soup. Now, I am making a lentil soup cleaning out the freezer. You guys can totally take your lentils. These I got at the Dollar Tree. And there is a recipe on the back. You can follow that, especially if you are new to cooking lentils. I know I did not grow up on eating lentils, but they are something that I really enjoy, and so does my husband. And I was a little intimidated at first, but they are really easy, packed with protein, lots of vitamins, and very, very versatile. So you can totally do what's on the back of the packet, or you could look up a recipe, but I am going to use what I have in my freezer to kind of clean it out. I've got some little odds and ends that need to get used up, and I'm just going to throw them all together for a soup. So just remember, if you've been here or if you are new, do what works best for you, your family, your situation. Again, I'm cleaning out the freezer. If you are able to or want to and want to go to the store for specific ingredients to make a lentil soup, that is awesome too. If you don't have exactly what I have, but maybe you have some other variations or some other preferences and have those, then go ahead. But the whole point of this is to use things that you already have at home and make a meal that is hearty, nutritious, free, cheap, frugal, and is going to extend. So we will eat this for several meals, and then the rest will go in the freezer. As I always say, when I make something like a soup or a stew or a chili, after it cools down, I always put half in the freezer, usually not in a huge container. I like to break it down into portions if you're able to, and label it, so then I can pull it out for 1 or 2 meals, and then you're not like bogged down with this giant thing of soup. And it really makes it easy for later, and then you eat on it, and then whatever's left off what you are, have eaten, if there is leftovers, put it in the freezer. You can do this in baggies or containers. I am that person that I save margarine containers and clean them out and stack them in my fridge, especially those square ones. They stack up so nice in your freezer. Anyway, so why would money be tight? Because every time I make one of these videos, it's, well, if you budget better, if you make more money, if you do this, this, and this, and this. Well, okay, guys. One, currently when I am making this video, we are in a government shutdown. Second of all, there are going to be many different times in our lives where we have more or less money than what we need or what we want. We could be underemployed, unemployed, going through a hard time. And you know what? Some people just want to stick to a budget and are saving for something or paying off debt or trying to be more mindful of food waste. There is a million reasons, and there is nothing wrong with a frugal, filling meal. Just because the video is called What to Eat When Money is Tight, that doesn't mean money is or isn't tight in your particular household or my particular household. It's just a niche. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a fundamental frugal meal that pretty much anybody could make. You need a stove. If you got access to a Dollar Tree or something like that, you can pretty much make it. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what we are making. So this is what I am going to be using. I am going to be using this 12-ounce bag of lentils I got from the Dollar Tree. Here are some frozen carrots. These carrots are raw. They are not cooked. Basically, I got a big pack of carrots. They were starting to get a little bit bendy because I was eating through them. I peeled them, washed them, and cut them up and froze them with the intent to make a soup. I've got some roast drippings. These are from a roast that my mother-in-law made, and this was just kind of the gravy and stuff that was left over. I've got some turkey, which I also got from my mother-in-law. I just finely chopped it up and put it in the freezer. We've got some green onions, and I've got some minced garlic. I also have some beef broth, And I've got this Better Than Bouillon mushroom base. You use it just like bouillon cubes, but you measure it out. And I've had this in the fridge for quite a while, so I want to start using it. I keep forgetting that I have it. So essentially, guys, all you're going to do is you are going to put the lentils in a pot with eight cups of water, and you are going to put in your meat, vegetables, garlic, seasonings, what have you. You don't have to use this. I just think that it adds a little depth of flavor, and it's a really good way not to have this gravy go to waste, because a lot of people will be dumping this out, and this is so full of flavor. And I know it seems a little odd, like the turkey and beef combination, but I personally think that it turns out great. And if you don't want to mix and match, you don't have to, but I'm here to tell you it really doesn't matter. It tastes really good. So you're going to put all these things in a pot, and you're going to do the water to the bouillon cubes, beef, chicken, vegetable, mushroom, whatever it is, and you are going to let it come to a boil, and then you are going to let it simmer for 40 minutes. And then you're going to let it cool down in the pot, and that'll make it cook the rest of the way. I might also put in some barley at the end. I like to do that at the end when the pot is not cooking anymore, but is still really hot. But we're going to go ahead and assemble this. So here is everything in my pot. As you can see, I did not defrost anything. I am feral like that, but you guys do whatever is going to work best for you. So I've got the lentils and the seasoning and the bouillon and the veggies, and of course feel free to use whatever veggies or meats or whatever it is that you've got on hand. And I am going to go ahead and add the water and put this on a boil, and as soon as it comes to a boil, I will put it to a simmer. Now it does say 30 to 40 minutes, but after that you want to check to see if the lentils are soft. And the cool thing about lentils is they don't really need to soak. You could soak them, but unlike dry beans that like have to be soaked, because if you just, anyway, if you know dry beans, then you know like it takes a really long time for a dry bean to become soft. Putting it, like, it doesn't really turn out that great in my opinion. I wouldn't advise that. You really want to soak beans. Lentils, on the other hand, they will work like this and taste just fine and come out just fine. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and add the water, let it come to a boil, and I'll show you guys what it looks like when that is done. Okay, my soup is starting to boil, or it is boiling, and I am going to put it down to a simmer and then see how long it takes for them to become tender. The lentils, it says 40 minutes. I've had it take longer. I've had it take less time. You're just going to have to play with it. So my soup is done. The lentils are tender. I went ahead and took a little bowl just to kind of sample it to make sure the flavor is great. You guys want to do that as you're cooking, especially if you're being a little bit experimental like I am, to make sure that it's not too salty or too bland. And the carrots, they turned out great. And I did let mine boil down a little bit, so it's less watery, so it is still technically a soup, but it's not going to be a bowl full of broth. So if you want more soup, or for it to be more liquidy, add more water and kind of play with the bouillon cubes, adding more or less water, bouillon, whatever it is. And I did not add barley, but what I think I am going to do is I'm going to make some white rice. So my husband and I will do like some white rice on the bottom and then scoop this on top. So there will be some liquid, but anyway, long story short, it turned out great, and this is going to feed both of us for a few meals, and then the rest will go in the freezer. Well, I just got my spoon. Let me show you guys. See? Looks great. And as you can see, I was surprised. There was a couple of big pieces of beef in there from that beef drippings, but I would definitely give this a try. Lentils are really versatile, but I hope that makes sense what I was saying, that like, as you can see, there is liquid in there, but it's not going to be super, super soupy, but it's going to be delicious. I did try it, and I cannot wait to have it for a meal. Okay guys, so I hope that you got something out of this video. If you are not going to make this recipe, at least maybe you got out of using what you have already on hand. Use up those leftovers. And I would like to point out that the only thing that I bought for this, I bought the lentils, I bought the bouillon and the carrots, but the turkey and let's see, the beef drippings and the onions actually came from my mother-in-law. She sends food over here, and so then when we don't make it through all the leftovers, I put all those little bits in the freezer and make stuff like this, really make it stretch. But I'm sure you guys have things in your freezer that you could turn into a really nice meal. So I hope that you guys got something out of this and that this encourages somebody. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching, and please consider subscribing to my channel, and until next time, bye.